success starts here. Owens Community College. Ready, set, go! Woo-hoo, ready, set, go!
Welcome. As we look back on our exciting past, 50 years of innovation, collaboration, and excellence. In September 1965, after approval by the State Department of Education, Penta County Technical Institute opened, enrolling 227 students. Classes were offered late afternoons and evenings in the Penta County Vocational School, on the site of the former Rossford Army Depot, which operated from 1942 to 1963. This was one of the first technical institutes in Ohio and the nation.
Well, I came in July of '66. The college had operated 1 year, Penta County had operated 1 year. And Penta County was kind of formed. It was one of the first vocational schools. It wasn't the first, but it was one of the first, and it was one of the leaders at the time. But I came along in '66. The enrollment was about 200, if that. We operated from 3 to 11 o'clock at night out of the high school.
One other barrack was used part-time for student housing for 2 years, I think it was, and then it was switched over to administrative purposes. We shared the college, or shared the high school building with Penta, a vocational high school, and so we started classes at 3 o'clock. So one of the not so good things about the job was working basically a lot of evenings, and especially on Friday evening when we were working until 10 o'clock at night every Friday for the first couple of years. So it's changed considerably, and it was nice to be able to be part of the process.
Shortly after being chartered by the Ohio Board of Regents in 1967, Dr. William Ramsey was chosen as the college's first president. The same year, the college's first graduation ceremonies were held. 44 students graduated in chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, or data processing.
Bill Ramsey was quite a promoter. The college, or the vocational school, was started by Bill Ramsey and a lot of area superintendents and community leaders. And he was the superintendent of the Rossford schools at the time, and then he became the superintendent president.
1 year later, Dr. Jacob H. C. was chosen as the college's second president.
Dr. C. was a very interesting person. I didn't know him when I came here, even though he had been at the previous place of employment. But he was pretty much a driving force in making sure that things got done and that the institution was on the path, the straight and narrow, and worked very hard, to gain recognition for the institution.
Dr. C, like I say, he was a strong personality. He knew where he wanted the college to go. He was a strong personality, but still he was a man that worked with everybody, I thought. He got the college off to a good start, I thought.
See, I started out under Dr. C. That was quite an eye-opening experience. I'd never met a man that was quite as intense and as aggressive as he was. I believe I got fired by him 3 times, but got rehired. But somebody had to start it, and I give him an awful lot of credit for starting this and really moving forward with it.
He really wanted accountability, if I think about this, and I think sometimes accountability became more important than safety, as he would not close the institution when we had horrendous storms, and there were nights that he would check the classrooms. But I think it was all part of the fact that he wanted Owens to be seen as a institution that was fulfilling the needs of the students who were coming here, and that we were not going to slack off, even for snow days. So
Prior to the construction of the college's first instructional building, students took classes in what was affectionately known as the barn and at the neighboring high school. Administrative and faculty offices were housed in the former Rossford Army Depot Barracks.
So when I started here back in the 70s, we had, I think, 2 buildings, and also we had the Army Barracks that were the administrative building at that point in time. We didn't have all the nice layout like we have now. And across the street from College Hall was an empty field, and they had whatever crop they had at that point in time. But yes, it was a lot different back in the day.
Life in the barracks was a challenge. But that was the old officers' quarters from the Army Depot times, and they basically were quite a challenge from a maintenance standpoint. They had been cut up to suit the needs of the college. There were stairwells that went to nowhere, hallways that led to nothing.
Oh, the barracks was an interesting place to work. You were very crowded in offices. You had faculty upstairs above you. I always had Merritt Sturfoss above my office, and he would thump on the floor when I needed to turn the temperature up.
The 1970s brought many exciting developments to the college. Daytime classes were offered, the number of programs expanded to more than 20. College Hall, the college's first instructional building, was completed in 1972. The first building on the east side of the Toledo area campus, Transportation Technologies, was constructed. The Health Technologies building was added in 1974, Alumni Hall in 75, and Bicentennial Hall was constructed in 1976. In 1972, the college separated from Penta Vocational School, and the college's name was changed to Michael J. Owens Technical College. Owens, a giant in the glass industry, came to Toledo in 1888 to work for Libby as a skilled glassblower. Mr. Owens' ingenuity changed glassmaking forever, making him the ideal namesake for the college.
It was officially Michael J. Owens Technical College, and Michael J. Owens was one of the first glass people in the industry. He was not an owner initially. He was a man that came in and was running the company, the floor, the workers themselves, and he's the one that invented the first glass bottle making machine.
The iconic big O that you can't miss atop the Health Technologies building landed atop the structure, ringing in 1980. You might be surprised to hear that the O wasn't originally designed for the college.
Owens, Illinois from downtown had donated them to us. They were literally helicoptered off the building downtown, brought out to the back of the Transportation Technologies building and set down in their back parking lot there and reworked. They've become so iconic with not only the faculty and staff at Owens, but with the community in general. They're just magnificent, and that was one of the key areas.
The 1980s featured an important geographical achievement for the college, as visionary leadership led to the Owens-Findlay area campus.
The Findlay community wanted some technical education in that community. Originally, the president of Terra Community College had worked with community leaders there, and they were going to start a campus in Findlay. And somewhere along the line, I don't know if it was financing or support or what, they decided not to go into Findlay. As soon as Jake C. heard that, he immediately pursued Owens having a campus in Findlay. And I might add, I think that they may have said no in 1 hour, and he was talking Owens in the next hour.
Probably one of the greatest was Findlay wanted a community college. Terra Technical College, Lima Technical College, and Toledo were all interested in it. And at that time, I think Dr. C was still our president then, and he said, we're going to go into Findlay.
Also in the 80s, Daniel H. Brown was named the college's third president.
I think Dan Brown was also very interested in the college, in their success here. And I think in his administration, they were very, very clear about keeping our finances in good order. But it was under Dan Brown's leadership that we also became a community college, which I think is one of the things that is one of my notable experiences here. I think it was an exciting event for the college.
I said Dan ran this college as good as anybody did, I thought. So, and I think all the trustees agreed too.
And I think he was pretty focused on having the institution develop into, one of the better institutions of education in the state. And you had a vision of it becoming an institution that served, the Northwest Ohio, and was pretty successful in bringing that about.
Owens Community College's enrollment surpassed 7,000 students. Physical therapy assistants, surgical assisting, and the LPN ADN programs were added. One of the most visible changes of the 80s was a pedestrian bridge across Oregon Road, connecting the east and west sides of the growing Toledo area campus. Administration Hall, Child Care Laboratory, and the Engineering Technologies buildings were all constructed, marking a movement from a small technical school to what would become the Owens Community College we know today.
We didn't have anything that we're Penta now. We didn't have anything across the street. It was actually Owens Technical College when I graduated from here. And it's so different to come out here now and see. It's actually a campus now, where before it was mostly just 4 or 5 buildings, the library and the cafeteria. So it's amazing how much it's grown, since I graduated from here.
The 1990s was an exciting decade for the college. The college's first ever state championship title was achieved by the men's basketball team. The men's basketball team also would win the college's first ever national title in 1991-92. That team featured Jeff Massey, who scored 1,894 career points, a record that still stands.
My favorite experience at Owens Technical College back then is winning back-to-back championships. Going 72-3 in 2 years is, remarkable, but I think getting my associate's degree was probably like a stepping stone, like a sense of accomplishment from where I started just to get to that point. I was proud of that fact.
This winning tradition started in 1966 with the college's first basketball team, the Pentatech Jaguars. That team featured Jim Penix, a Rossford High School graduate who went on to play at Bowling Green State University and was drafted into the NBA. The team went on to win the college's first ever conference championship, which was then known as the Turnpike Conference. Athletics continued to grow, and by the 1990s, the college had teams in men and women's basketball, soccer, men's baseball, and women's softball and volleyball. The 1990s also saw explosive growth in the college's physical presence on the east side of Oregon Road. Property for the Galleria complex was purchased, followed by planning and construction of the Audiovisual Classroom Center, library, and math science building. The method for selecting the exact building location was, let's just say it resulted from tossing around an idea.
The placement of the library was determined by a toss of the stone. Chuck and I were standing off of Oregon Road, about where the traffic circle is now, and basically, where should we have the road go off here that starts the building? And we were discussing it. Chuck finally reached down and picks up a good-sized chunk and heaves it, and he says, "Let's go there." And that's how she started. That's how this whole complex started and was built from there.
The Law Enforcement Building and the Center for Development and Training continued the momentum east of Oregon Road.
When I attended here, the college was just embarking on a big growth spirit. This side of the campus was just getting underway. The library was under construction, so there was a lot of excitement about the future. The bridge was being built, so there was a lot of exciting things going on.
In 1994, the college officially changed from a technical college to a community college. This change permitted the college to offer the first 2 years of a bachelor's degree and allowed arts and sciences students to begin transferring to the University of Michigan, the University of Findlay, and Defiance College. The University of Michigan agreement was its first with any community college outside the state of Michigan. In 1997, American Automobile Manufacturers Association's Vocational Association Industrial Planning Council recognized the college's automotive technology program as the #1 program in the nation. The college began several new programs and partnerships as well, including Occupational Therapy Assistant, Caterpillar, Freightliner, and TARDA. The 2000s continued the college's vision of serving students regardless of where they lived, with the addition of web-based courses, which opened up educational opportunities beyond borders.
One of the great things that I remember changing while I attended Owens is that they started coming out with online classes. So that was a big plus to me because at the time I kind of lived far, but they had evening classes which worked out great, but the online classes that I could take at home was even better because at the time it was just my son and I. So that was a big change, but it was a big positive change.
Investing in the success of students, the Owens Foundation and the Alumni Association stepped up to the plate, raising millions of dollars. The relocation of the Findlay area campus to Bright Road continued the college's expansion of services and programs in Hancock County.
We started looking for property. We had some people that wanted to donate some property to us, but there were so many oil leases on it that we were afraid to build on the property, not knowing what would be underneath the ground.
Another highlight was a visit to the Toledo area campus by the 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush. The college also selected its 4th president, Dr. Krista E. Adams, in 2001. Dr. Larry McDougall served as the college's 5th president beginning in 2009. Dr. Mike Bauer was chosen as the college's 6th president in 2012. College affordability and workforce training were on the national agenda, including a 2012 visit to the college by the 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton. Much has changed since we first opened our doors in 1965, both here and in the world around us. Our students have changed, our programs have changed, and the way we teach has changed. What hasn't changed is the commitment from our faculty to provide the best education possible to our students.
The other professor that sticks out is Tom Deckelman. He was my academic advisor and helped me with my internship program. And fortunately for me, the internship program led into my first real job in the advertising world, which lasted for about 10 years.
My instructor, her name was Joyce Regnis. And she was very, very nice. She was very, very thorough. She was a great instructor. She saw the look on my face and she said, "Gwen, don't give me that look." She said, "You're going to pass this. Sit down, take the test. You know this." And I did.
A lot of amazing instructors, and I think one thing about the nursing program with Owens is their clinical experience for their students is more than anyone else offers in the city. They get a lot of time in different hospitals and nursing homes, and it's just outstanding. That's where you learn the hands-on. So it was a really good experience all around.
At Owens Community College, we believe in serving our students and our communities. Your success is our mission. That's the phrase that inspires us to continue the important work of strengthening the community by affordably preparing students for jobs that give them meaning and purpose.
Owens was huge in my career because without the academy and the experiences and the lessons learned here, without that I would not have been able to work at Perrysburg Township as a part-time officer starting in 1988. And then I became a full-time officer with the city of Perrysburg in September of 1990, became a sergeant, ran for sheriff in 2004, and took office in January of 2005, and I'm the sheriff of Wood County.
I would say my experience at Owens influenced my career really by giving me the opportunity to get an entire year of credits done at Owens before I transferred, which led me to graduate with my bachelor's degree a year prior, and then I was able to go on and get my master's degree all by the age of 21. So I would say overall I started my career pretty young, and I still consider myself young, and I hold a really decent job now, and I definitely have Owens to thank that.
I would say it helped put me on a course of what I wanted to do in my future career. I knew I wanted to do something in business, but I just wasn't exactly sure, and it helped taking a few classes just to learn about what business has to offer, and I went on to graduate with a bachelor's in marketing, and then on to get my master's as well. So just getting that starting point and being able to find out exactly how I wanted to start my career and move on from there, it helped me with that.
Students of all ages have choices: a degree, a certificate, or lifelong learning at any one of our locations: Perrysburg, Findlay, Maumee, downtown Toledo, or online.
Owens is really a jewel for Northwest Ohio, that we have the type of classes, the technologies, the education that is offered here, and really opened up to our community to allow people to take everything from welding classes to computer classes, depending on what their needs are.
Like our students, graduates, and alumni, Owens has a story: 50 years, a legacy, and a leader in community college education in Northwest Ohio. A story still being written. Each of you are part of our story of serving students and our communities. It's our honor, our mission, our shared vision for a future filled with promise and success.
Congratulations, Owens Community College, on your 50 years.
Owens Community College, congratulations on 50 years.
Congratulations, Owens, on 50 years.
Congratulations on your 50th anniversary.
Congratulations, Owens Community College, on your 50 years.
Congratulations, Owens Community College.
Congratulations, Owens, on 50 years.
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 Congratulations, Owens, on your 50th anniversary.
Congratulations, Owens, on 50 years.
Congratulations on Owens Community College 50 years.